a multi-millionaire and a two-time loser. Got a button on the back with the air cooler. Got brakes on consignment if I'm with your Gucci racing suit on and I ain't even driving.
Where they at? 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 Where they at?
I know I say this all the time, but that was definitely probably the nervous I've been for deadlifts. I think it's because I did the same weight last week and it looked really bad in my opinion. It was super slow, not really controlled, and kind of a mess. Kind of let my form deteriorate. However you say that. This week it was a lot better. I feel more controlled, a little bit more in tune with the weight in my body. Definitely felt heavy, but I feel like it was really right on the money for RPE. I'm hoping pre-meet we get a little closer to my PR, which is 545. So that would be like 20 more pounds. Yeah, because that was 525. So it'd be 20 more pounds. I feel like I have it, but I'd rather take it now and fail it now than fail it at the meet. Does that make sense? Because I feel like if I fail it now, I'll at least know what it feels like, because I haven't touched it since August. I probably have tried like in October, September, and most likely failed. I can't remember. But I'd rather go ahead and attempt it now, fail it now, but at least I know what the weight feels like. And then for third attempt or second attempt on meet day, go for it. Because we'll probably open with like 515, 505. And depending on how the opener moves, we may go 535, 525. So we'll just see. I would like to PR, get 565 possibly. Maybe if we really just smoke the, let's say we do 545 for the second attempt because we smoked 525 for an opener. The weights for deadlifts are kind of like all over the place. It really depends on how I'm feeling during the warm-ups. But dare I say 585? Dare I say 585? We'll see. We'll see. Deadlifts, if you know me, I've always struggled with. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a mental thing or it's just a strength thing, but that's my weak point. My strong point is bench, but you can't add a lot of weight with bench. So I really got to start catching up and make my way through deadlift. But I think doing these technique adjustments and walking through everything a little bit slower and really analyzing my form has helped. And I think we're getting there. We're getting better. We may switch to sumo, may switch to hook grip, depending on how this meet goes and how the weights are moving. But time to go to back downs. I'm doing 465, 2x2. So yeah, let's just get this show on the road.
I gotta know that's a training, that's just it. Eventually the deadline's gonna come and they'll launch and it all.
We're on the stiff-legged deadlifts, dumbbells. I've never really done these until last week. Been feeling good, but it's just RPE 7. So I'm doing 75s, 8 reps. We'll see how this goes today. So the main difference between stiff-legged and RDLs is really no knee bend. RDLs, you're going to have a slight more knee bend. Engage those glutes a little bit more than those hamstrings. While stiff-legged deadlifts, no knee bend. You're really hitting those hamstrings a lot more, getting a lot of good tension right there. I decided to do seated leg curl because I've put a lot of strain on my back today. It's not hurting, but we've put a lot of load and tension and time into it that I want to kind of not do lying and put more strain in that area. But I still want volume in the hamstrings, so we're going to go seated 3x12 at 190 right now starting off. We may go to 210, depending on how these 12 feel. Really focusing in on that eccentric, so bringing it back, slow and controlled. I'll take that. Oh, cramping in my arch. Oh, that ever happened to you? Where your foot arch just starts cramping? Anyways, we're on machine abductions. I need to go slower on the second set. May move a little forward, so we're getting out a little bit more. We'll see how that feels. Maybe drop the weight a little bit, but 3 sets of 15. We're gonna scoot up a little bit on the main pad, put feet almost in the same position, and take it a little slower. I feel like,
You know what I mean?
I like when I attach the ankle cuffs and do it on cables. I feel like when I use the machine, I'm limited by my range of motion in my hip because I'm seated. I feel like I don't get a lot of good range of motion on my glute med, which is what we're really trying to do with these abductions. But you don't want to do the standing cable hip abductions all the time. So it's good to do this. You can load it a little bit more and take it through a shorter range of motion, which you're hitting different fibers through each range. But you know, pros and cons to everything. Now we just got super simple accessory work coming. Front foot elevated reverse lunges. So this kind of taxes me. Well, I only do 30 pounds with it. It's 2 sets of 10 to 12. And what we're really focusing on is good range of motion. So this front leg is going to be here. We're going to start about here and then come down, back up, down, back up 10 times, keeping it simple. Working on a good range of motion with the hip, opening that hip joint up. We've done a lot of hinging, so it's good to kind of do a reverse motion like this. It's good practice to do a motion like this at the end of your lift. Just kind of open that hip joint back up and making sure everything's moving the way it's supposed to. It's also really working on balance too. Oh. So that wasn't too difficult. So I'm gonna put some risers on here, make it a little higher, and do one last set. So we've raised it up now, just a little bit, maybe I guess 2 inches? I don't know what you'd say this is. But last set here, because we're only doing 2. So a little bit deeper of a stretch. Feeling good. Major thing you want to remember with these, make sure your leg isn't coming back like that, like into a curtsy lunge. You want to be coming straight back, making sure you're getting good pressure through your foot, and you're staying stable. All right, so that's it. I have like one more accessory, but it's a single leg glute bridge, which is no weight, and then I have cardio. So I'll see you back at the apartment where we're going to talk about why am I always so nervous with deadlifts.
So it's actually the next day. I had to go straight to work from the gym. But anyways, we're going to quickly talk about why I think I'm so fearful of deadlifts. If you know me, I've been lifting heavy for a couple years, but not really in the way of a power lifter. Just kind of trying to get PRs on the big 3 and not really caring. Kind of like how I discussed in my last video. But with deadlifts in particular, it has been the biggest struggle in terms of getting the bigger numbers. For the longest time, I've had 2 goals on deadlifts. It's to 1, hit 605, and then 2, beat Wesley's PR of 565. So obviously that one would come before the 605. Now, I've also been stuck at 545 since August, and that rep didn't look pretty, as you can see from right here. So it's been a struggle in terms of technique, but also injury. The first time I ever really hurt myself in the gym was from deadlifting improperly. It was mainly just an issue of weak posterior chain muscles and a weak core that led to my muscles kind of just spasming up. I haven't had really any debilitating low back injuries except for when my SI joint got tweaked, and that was from squat, and that was just due to the joint shifting too much, and so then my muscle spasmed again. I think deadlift is also the most technical of the big 3 lifts. There's a lot to go into it and a lot to think about. You're using your whole body, so there's a lot of intricacies that you have to think about. Initiating the lift, getting off the floor, making sure you're fully locked out at the top, making sure your knees aren't soft at the top. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's also for a lot of people where they can add a lot of weight. And that has been the biggest thing I've had to control my emotions on. I feel like I hate on myself a lot because I can't push past a certain limit. I feel like I've hit a plateau, even though we haven't tried to go above my 1 rep max since the start of my process of training with the coach. So there's a lot of details that I'm missing, and I feel like I just keep comparing myself to other people. I see people in my weight class, in my same range of experience, pulling mid 6, even sometimes 700 on deadlifts, and I have to remember, like, it's a different process. Those same people that are pulling like 6 or 650 on deads are probably maybe not even doing like 315 on bench, but I suck at deadlifts. And of course, that's where you add a lot of weight on your total, is through deadlifts and squats, and not really bench. I have to force my deadlift to catch up and really push past this mental barrier of, oh, I may get hurt or I may suffer a setback. When in actuality, I feel like my body's really prepared. Like when I'm doing my top sets, every set feels kind of scary because I'm like, oh wow, this is the heaviest I've gone in months. But then I get it and I'm like, oh, that wasn't too bad. So it's like climbing a mountain and you get to the top and you're like, yo, this was pretty scary coming all the way up. But then you see the view from the summit and you're like, whoa, this was worth it. This was worth it. Hopefully come meet day on that 3rd attempt especially, we'll be past that little mental barrier and we'll send it on the 3rd attempt if we're all healthy through a squat, bench, and then we get to the 3rd on deadlifts and we just send it, do something crazy for y'all, and hopefully we see some good results and a good total from this meet. But 3 weeks out, I think. Today is March 22nd. Meet day is April 20th. So a little less than 4 weeks, but we'll say 3.5 weeks out. Booking the Airbnb today. I'm super excited, and I'm just really prepared to see what we have in store for the next few weeks. And then meet day's here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please click like, subscribe if you want to, and then just let me know down below in the comments what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, and we can make everything better together. All right, I love you. Bye.
I don't know if she can stand anymore. I don't know if she can stand anymore.